Hi, I'm Gig Sixsmith. All the characters in this story were created using Animix drawing cards. The Red List. Beyond the wild Imagine ocean, listen hard, you'll hear the commotion. The endangered creatures of Animix Island are holding a meeting way up in the highland. Mountain Tigrilla is first to speak, stuttering and nervous in a voice that's weak. Up in the mountains we roam, there's trouble, someone's destroying our home. The silky Lamotta shook his head, and glancing around him he quietly said, We need to all stick together, united. Be clever, cunning, and never short-sighted. Scarlet McCorkin spoke out in a rage. I'm certainly not ending up in a cage. I've watched too many friends disappear, she said whilst wiping away a tear. The crumpled red note which she held in her claws, she slowly uncurled with a silent pause. We're all in danger, it says so here. And the Animix creatures gathered near. Critically endangered, the creatures mumbled, some of them trembling, whilst others stumbled. Right at the top, that's where we're listed. We need a plan, Rhino Sloth insisted. Scarlet McCorkin had found the note. She began to explain with a lump in her throat. I was searching for my missing friend when I found this note at the forest's end. Beyond the trees, I saw a huge beast. It was yellow and noisy, enjoying its feast, eating the trees with its razor-sharp teeth, whilst another beast flattened the earth underneath. I flew back to safety as fast as I could, grasping the note as I swooped through the wood. The Animix creatures felt threatened and scared. Tigrilla was shaking and his nostrils flared. If we're to survive, we need to adapt, to move about freely, not feel like we're trapped. The first thing on the master plan, we need to get help as fast as we can. Scarlet McCorkin was smart and brave and was most determined these creatures to save. They had to stay healthy and work together if their species were to live on forever. The yellow beast that's devouring our trees needs to be stopped, she said with a wheeze. We must get help from the SAS. Save Animals Squad will solve our distress. She wrote out a message with her feathered quill and spoke in a voice that was shaky and shrill. We need someone strong, fast and courageous to go on this epic mission to save us. Kingfisher Glog swooped down low, and they all agreed that he should go. He held the note tight in his beak by biting. It said, Save the homeless, in fancy writing. With a flutter of wings, he was up in the sky. Before the creatures could wave him goodbye, he disappeared towards the sun, on this dangerous mission to save everyone. Mountain Tigrilla had an idea, which he muttered and stuttered, for all to hear. Let's build a lookout to tower and camouflage it with leaves and for flowers. The tower was indeed an inspiration, their own panoramic lookout station. From here they could see all around, spot creatures in trouble, lost and found. Beyond the bush they could see for miles the cut-down trees in their many piles, and the yellow beasts whirring and roaring with their vicious teeth and crab-like clawing. It was Mountain Tigrilla's turn on duty. He was busy admiring the natural beauty, when a sudden cry for help made him jump, and he spotted the trouble beyond a tree stump. Tamarin Sunbear, with her golden crest, at the edge of the forest was beating her chest, caught in a trap, wide-eyed with fear, and the growl of the yellow beasts getting near. Tigrilla sounded the danger alarm by beating a rhythm with his leathery palm. The trees started swaying like a Mexican wave, as the creatures travelled, united and brave. Then overhead came a huge dark cloud, the SAS with wings flapping loud. They circled the forest in tight formation and tipped their wings at the lookout station. Tigrilla saluted Kingfisher Glog, then pointed to Tamarin trapped by the log. They swooped in formation over the beasts, and suddenly the sound of their roaring had ceased. The yellow beasts were frozen in shock at the sight of this synchronized overhead flock. Tamarin's rescuers, seizing their chance, were able to make their final advance. But Tamarin's foot they could not free. Her leg was twisted from ankle to knee. Poor Tamarin was trembling with fear at the sight of the yellow beast so near. The SAS had a clever idea. Buying them time in order to free her, they dive-bombed the beasts in a daredevil mission and stole the keys from the engine's ignition. Then they rubbed her foot with sap from a tree, and using their horns on the count of 3, they released her and flew her back to the tower, where they bandaged her foot with leaves and flowers. Then they began, with wings extended, to put into action their plan as intended, and swooping to scatter the miracle seeds, to grow back their forest, replenish their needs. The forest grew back dense and vast, and the threat to the creatures was over at last. The beasts disappeared and left them alone to rear lots more babies in home, sweet home. I wonder what you'd create by mixing some of these animals together in your own drawings, and then name them and bring them alive in your own stories.